Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know, but let me know if you can relate to this. I can't be the only one that feels this way. I like video games, but just because I like a video game doesn't mean that I can't like another video game. I can enjoy Genshin Impact and simultaneously enjoy Tower of Fantasy. I can enjoy Wuthering Waves and simultaneously enjoy Genshin Impact. I can play Arknights, I can play Path to Nowhere, I can play a multitude of different gacha games and enjoy all of them without necessarily feeling the innate need to lash out and attack them, to criticize them. Ever since Wuthering Waves launched, even before Wuthering Waves launched, there were countless people that were doom posting before the game even released, claiming there is no way Wuthering Waves is going to achieve any kind of success. Evidently, they were proven wrong. Within its first 9 days of release, it made, what, 25 million on mobile, potentially double that if you factor in PC. Second month of revenue, over a 30-day period, it made almost $50 million globally on mobile, potentially double that if you factor in PC. Made a minimum of anywhere between $70 to $150 million, at least, potentially more. Clearly, there were plenty of people that were happy. Lots of people were spending. If you look at the view count when it comes to videos on YouTube for character trailers, for update trailers, Wuthering Waves is numbering in the millions with thousands of comments, tens of thousands of likes. Clearly, players are interested. Clearly, players are actually playing the game. Yet, all across social media, in my tweet specifically, because I've been very positive when it comes to Wuthering Waves. I've been thoroughly enjoying the game. I love a lot of it. I have had several complaints with it. Acts 1 through 4, the grindy, repetitious nature of continuing to attempt to farm the best in slot echoes, which is an arduous journey to undertake, but no, really more difficult than Genshin's artifact system. In spite of the very few minor issues that I've had with the game, I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I think 1.1 has been exponentially better than 1.0, a significant improvement that honestly I feel like took us in an entirely new direction, showed us an entirely new level of quality that Kudo were capable of actually pushing out. But I digress. I have been fairly positive when it comes to the game. In videos, I've done probably over 13 or 14 videos discussing how well the game is doing and how much I've been enjoying it. I have made dozens of tweets over on Twitter, and whenever I post a video, whenever I make a tweet, the overwhelming majority consists of people that are like-minded, that share that sentiment, that have been enjoying the game, that are looking forward to characters like Jinsa, like Chongli, like Scar. Incredible looking characters, people that are interested in the story, that really love the combat, that are pushing the, love difficulty 6 hologram bosses, that are just having a ton of fun in the game. And then you get the odd, well, I mean, I want to say odd, but there are quite a few of them. Hater that just decides, you know what? Yeah, you see that tweet with 1,000 likes, with 40 people all saying, oh my God, I'm enjoying the game so much. I'm going to go into that tweet and say, no, your opinion sucks. You're a fucking idiot. Genshin Impact is better. Okay, congratulations. Evidently, the 40 people that were commenting in here all believe Wuthering Waves is better. You don't, that's fine, and you're welcome to post your opinion, but then they always end up devolving into criticisms. They start lashing out at various different people, telling them their opinions are wrong, telling them, no, Genshin is better in this area. And I think the most interesting part about all of this is these people, these haters, they're not Hoyo players, they're not Hoyo gamers. I know a lot of people want to label them as Hoyo stans and Hoyo players, but I think the sad reality is when Honkai Star Rail was approaching its launch, a lot of Genshin players were very heavily criticizing it. There's no way Honkai Star Rail can do as good as Genshin Impact. Why? Because Genshin Impact is an action game. It's open world. Honkai Star Rail isn't. There's no way a segregated world turn-based game can be anywhere near as popular as an open world action game. And then half the year, Honkai Star Rail makes more money than Genshin Impact does. Honkai Star Rail has actually become the staple of the genre. The one standout game that everyone now thinks about, that notes, that makes reference to when they talk about gacha games. Why? It makes more money. It has just as many players, potentially more. It has a better story. It has better graphics. Now, admittedly, a lot of these are subjective. They are my opinion. They're the opinions of pretty much all of the Honkai Star Rail players, sure. But Honkai Star Rail has just attained a level of quality that Genshin Impact doesn't have. And Genshin players not only mocked it, not only attempted to hinder its success at the time, but continue to do so when players attack Wuthering Waves, and they're more than welcome to. Everyone is more than welcome to have an opinion. When they attack Wuthering Waves, when they attack Punishing Grey Raven, other action games, they're typically not the Honkai Star Rail players. The reason I know this is because they will often compare it to Genshin Impact. They will say Genshin does this better. Nobody ever says Honkai Star Rail does it better. When players were comparing the character models, like Chong-Li is an example. Chong-Li is probably the best looking character in a gacha game, period. Yet, when players criticized her, they would often claim Genshin Impact has better character models. I have not seen in the dozen or so videos I've done that have tens of thousands of comments total on the tweets that have hundreds, if not thousands of comments total, anyone mention Honkai Star Rail. They all mention Genshin. And, well, okay, no, not all. The vast majority of them mention Genshin, or, and this is an interesting note here, Zenless Zone Zero. I think for whatever reason, Genshin players are leaking into Zenless Zone Zero because they share a similar style of combat, and that is action. This has caused even more hate amongst the community because, at least in my tweets, specifically my videos specifically, I don't know if you guys are also experiencing this, there are a growing number of Zenless Zone Zero players that are coming in saying Zenless has better character models, Zenless has better designs, Zenless has better combat, Zenless has better story. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't disagree. It probably does have various aspects where it excels quite significantly over Wuthering Waves, but that is your subjective opinion. That doesn't make it objective fact. So when I'm talking about haters hating on Wuthering Waves, I'm not saying Hoyo players overall. I know a lot of people like to just coin the term Hoyo hater and just kind of lump everyone in together, but I don't want to make that assumption because I don't think it's fair. I think it's disingenuous, especially when the vast majority of Honkai Star Rail players are actually very nice. They're quite different in terms of toxicity to the Genshin player, the Genshin fan base. And Wuthering Waves isn't innocent here. I just want to note this. Wuthering Waves players are also getting increasingly toxic in response, and not even just in response. There were a lot of Wuthering Waves players that were goading the Genshin players, saying Wuthering Waves combat is better, Wuthering Waves looks better, which in turn forces the Genshin players to retaliate. So Wuthering Waves players have also been on the offensive. They are not without fault. There are plenty of Wuthering Waves players that have been initiating confrontations with Genshin players, but more Genshin players have been doing it than Wuthering Waves players have been, just like Genshin players did it to Honkai Star Rail. I also want to point out, interestingly enough, Genshin players are one of the few game communities I think that are doing this, because the Arknights community doesn't really care. The Path to Nowhere community doesn't really care. Neither does the Blue Archive community, the Nikkei community. They're all just doing their own shit, having their own fun. The majority of those players probably aren't even playing Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact. They don't even give a fuck. I feel like I'm going on a tangent here. I don't know. It's just so weird to me because I like Genshin Impact. I really do. I wasted like half a year playing that game. Played all of 1.0, all of 2.0, all the way up to 3.0, and I stopped for a while because I got really invested in Arknights and a couple other games. I think it was Blue Archive and then Nikkei, and I was forced to do Tower of Fantasy because I kind of wanted to finish it so I could do a dedicated video on it. I love Genshin Impact. I've thoroughly enjoyed Honkai Star Rail. I thoroughly enjoy Wuthering Waves. I love Nikkei, it's one of my favorite gacha games. I really enjoy Blue Archive, Arknights. There are so many incredible gacha games that I just have an immense amount of fun in. And I don't compare any of them. I think they are all fantastic games that all have unique aspects, unique facets that are different to other games, that make them feel unique, that allow for me to enjoy them in a different way. I don't hate Path to Nowhere because I like Arknights more, because I have more fun in Arknights. I don't hate Blue Archive because I enjoy Nikke more. I don't hate Genshin Impact because I like Wuthering Waves more. I like all of these games. I dislike certain aspects of each of them, but I love them all nonetheless, and I don't feel the innate need to lash out and hate on them publicly, unless they do something really stupid, in which case I'll cover it because I find it absolutely hilarious. Case in point, Ni no Kuni Crossworlds, Noah's Heart, Tower of Fantasy. They continue to fuck up, and it's hilarious to watch everything just unravel. But the point of this video is, I just wish that these haters wouldn't want other games to fail. I think Wuthering Waves succeeding can only mean good things. More successful games means the genre is evolving, the genre is growing, and we have less low budget, low quality cash grabs. How is that bad? There's so many crap, trash tier quality gacha games coming out every single month. If more of them were higher quality, if more of them were competition for the big gacha games, that would just breed innovation. That would just mean that the bigger gacha games would need to improve. That way, they stay ahead. That way, they remain at the top. I think it is more than possible for Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact to both coexist. I think it is a ridiculous process, logic, for one games community to hope the other games community fails or the other game fails. Regardless of whether you're in the Wuthering Waves community, the Genshin community, the Zenless community, the Honkai Star Rail community, the Arknight, Blue Archive, Nikke, you can all coexist. You can play any game you want to. And by that same train of thought, you cannot play games you don't want to. You, as a human being, possess the ability to make this conscious choice. So what's stopping you?